I'm Fox 26 meteorologist John Dawson. This is your Sunday afternoon heat wave update. Glad you found us here on the live stream and always able to sort of keep you in the know of what's happening, and no big surprises here. We're going to kind of bring you the same message that we've been bringing, but the reminder is that, of course, this is the kind of heat that can still sneak up on you just a little bit. But we also have a few more records that we're going to talk about, and we've got some not zero chances of rain to talk about as well. We'll start with the record books, and I want to point out that today we've made it to 100 degrees at Intercontinental Airport today, but I haven't included that in any of our graphics. Still going with as of yesterday on all of these numbers, but you'll be able to add on another one here for all of our graphics is concerning the number of days in a row of this sort of activity, because it is just continuing to be very hot. So yesterday, tying the record for the second most number of 100 degree straight days in a row. So again, this has to be straight in a row number of 100 degree days, and that goes back to 1980, and now again we've beaten that today because we've already broke 100 sort of unofficially in Intercontinental Airport. We'll make that 15, and then that will be the second most active that we've had, again in a row number of days at 14. Today would be 15 numbers for the city of Houston. So it has to be the official recording site. And what's interesting about this record for 2023, it's actually 101 or more is what we've done so far in 2023. We've never actually had, in this streak that we've been on, it's been 101 or more, 101, 102, or 103. We haven't gotten any hotter than 103, and we haven't gotten any lower than 101 over the last 15 days. But today's not over yet either, so let's see what happens. We might actually get hotter than 103 before it's all over with, because it is very hot out there right now, and we're sitting at about 101 for the downtown area of Houston. That's what we're using for this particular graphic. The feels like temperatures running at 108 because our dew points are actually just a little bit lower. Look, we're not in the 70s and our dew points. So again, that makes the feels like temperature a lot more reasonable. Maybe not a lot more reasonable, but it makes it closer at least to what we're seeing on the air temperature. We got a south wind at around 7 miles an hour. So officially, or let's just say unofficially so far, we'll put down 102 for the high temperature at Intercontinental Airport. This is your 4 o'clock update. Easily between now and 6 p.m. we could bounce up even hotter than that. It's already 104 up in Huntsville, 105 in College Station. Galveston coming in at 92 degrees and 102 for the folks in Pearland. So our records for today's date at Bush Intercontinental Airport would be 104. So we're in grasp of that record high temperature. Hobby Airport would be a bit of a stretch for us to get to that 106. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but same thing with Galveston. These numbers are very high, and I don't think that we've got what needs to take place today in order to break or tie those records. But I do think that Intercontinental record, especially with a little bit of that drier air, those dew points slightly lower, that could help make the temperatures bounce up just a little bit more. Here's the feels like temperatures, certainly over that 108 that's needed for the heat advisory. We're getting close to that 113 as well for the excessive heat warning. Feels like 112 in Huntsville, same thing in Tomball. And remember, even though Galveston Island has the thermometer just a little bit lower, the feels like temperature is still running about 109. So want to be very cautious with those outdoor activities. Even if you're having some fun in the beach there, you could still get very warm, although a little bit of a breeze is definitely helping. So at this point in time, the heat advisory goes until 9 p.m. The excessive heat warning is until 9 p.m. That's also been extended for the Harris County area for tomorrow until the evening hour. So these should be continued all the way until tomorrow evening. Our fire weather, that's that red flag warning. Our northwestern counties are still included in that, and then much of central Texas also included into that. That's because of that slightly drier air and the breezy conditions, and of course because of the drought, how dry everything is. So if a spark were to take place, it would spread quite quickly, and so that's why this red flag warning is out, just to kind of make sure everyone is aware that you should think about those wildfire plans you know, you have hurricane plans. Well, if you're in Central Texas, you also need to have some thoughts and plans for what would you do if a wildfire comes racing towards your home. That is a real scenario that could be taking place, and especially that's why we have this red flag warning, just to kind of give you that heads up that this was a slightly more likely of a day that could happen if that spark were to happen and that fire were to start moving up. So here is the burn bans that we have across the state of Texas. 71% of the state are under the burn bans. That includes everybody here in Southeast Texas, so all across our viewing area. And a little bit of a closer look when we talk about the drought conditions. We update the drought on Thursdays, this graphic, this drought monitor, and we had an expansion of the drought conditions for us here in Southeast Texas. We've now got 41% of our viewing area in that severe drought, which is basically more or less south and east of downtown Houston. And then north and to the west, it's that moderate level, about 59% of the viewing area. So all of us have some form of drought, and then you know, as you move back to Central Texas, that's where it has just been bone dry. Hardly any rain has been happening for a while. Hill country is what's really been getting hit particularly hard over that. Looking like right now 69% of the state has some form of drought. And that high pressure that we've been continuing to track pretty much all summer long, it's been influencing us at some point or another. Very few breaks that we've really had. Around July 4th and a couple days after, that was that one period of time in which this high pressure sort of let up a little bit, and we did have some measurable rain. We had some hit or miss showers a couple of times in between there, but really not that much to talk about. Nothing like this where we see what's getting directed around us. The Storm Prediction Center even giving some portions of Missouri there some possibilities of some of that severe weather dipping over into Kansas and Arkansas as well. They're that 3 out of 5 on the range that some of those storms could be severe. So we're not really wanting severe storms here in Houston, but we certainly would like a few storms to kind of help a little bit with these very hot days. So those consecutive 100-degree days, we were talking about Intercontinental Airport here specifically, that we've done the 14 that we've already had in a row, or total, and for the year we've got 24 is the record. If you'll remember, 20, that was the number 1, so 14 was number 2. That's what we've done. Other recording sites, so besides Intercontinental Airport, we've done 35 days in a row of 100 or more at College Station. That eclipses the record. Same thing in Huntsville, eclipsing the record with 35. Conroe has done it as well with 21. The record was 14. So kind of seeing these go on, and Hobby Airport tying it right now for that record that goes back in 1962. So here's the influence of that high pressure, but here's the hope as well. I'm going to pause this on Tuesday on our Futurecast, and you notice we get a little bit of a blip popping up here. These are not high rain chances, but at least they're not 0 rain chances either, or less than 10%. This would be more than that. And again, that's going to be somewhat optimistic. We'll kind of zoom in a little bit more, use a little higher resolution of one of our models, and kind of to show you that even on Monday afternoon, less than 10% chance of rain, but on Monday afternoon, maybe even an isolated storm pops up. Won't be very big, won't last very long, probably not that intense. But when we get into Tuesday, you see the stability breaks just a little bit more. Slightly higher as we get towards the coast, to the southwest probably even as well. You see those storms kind of popping up again. Very brief, not going to really give you much of a break from that rain, but it will provide perhaps just a little bit more water on your lawns and just sort of help, at least for some of us, a little bit of that drought. So we talked about this already, but 14 days of row of that 101 or hotter. The last 3 days, again, not counting today, but the last 3 days, we've actually hit 103, which is the hottest temperature we've had so far this year. We've done that several times. We talked about the rain. Haven't really seen any measurable rain for the city of Houston officially since July the 6th. We've done 21 days in a row with an overnight low of 80 or higher, which means we're just not cooling down in the evenings down in Galveston on the water there. And then Palacios has just been very, very warm. Their heat index has not dropped below 100 for 10 days. Let's take a quick look at that 7-day forecast as we are talking about 20, maybe 30% chance of rain if you're closer to the coast, but that's the best we could do in the next several days as the heat wave continues, the excessive heat warning continues. And when we get to next weekend, this might be a bit optimistic on my side of things. And sometimes your human optimism finds its way into a forecast. It's not all science and numbers, I got to be honest. So I went ahead and put 99 for the high temperature on Sunday, hoping that a few extra clouds, maybe a little bit of extra rain will finally get us out of the triple digits. Again, that's a little hopeful on my part, a little optimistic. We'll see what happens. All right, quick reminder, programming-wise, 5 p.m. newscast tonight, and then we'll do a 9 o'clock newscast as well. And we'll be back in here once in the morning, once in the afternoon, updating you on our live stream. Our newscast will be here on the stream as well as broadcast on Fox 26. Look forward to seeing you a little bit later on this afternoon.